The SMSL VMV A1 Pro arrives looking deceptively ordinary from the distance. It's a sleek black rectangular box that, while having a touch more style than some, could easily be mistaken for, any of the recent headphone amp or DAC releases. It's compact enough to sit comfortably on any desk, but don't let the modest size fool you here. This little amplifier is packing some different technology under its unassuming exterior. And when you actually pick this one up and start to take a closer look at it, the build quality immediately sets expectations just a bit higher. It's a step above the standard run-of-the-mill budget buys that filled the market lately. Something I noticed while unboxing this one was the remote that actually comes with this is a nice little aluminum remote. This one actually has some weight to it rather than the common plastic one that we see all too often these days. That's obviously just a remote and takes the back seat to the amp performance, but at the very least it had my attention rather than seeing yet another dollar store remote that's just paired with all the equipment that comes in this size. The aluminum chassis has a nice matte finish, it's substantial but not unnecessarily heavy, and the fit and finish suggests careful attention to manufacturing design. I really like some of the small details on this one. The subtle design cues project more of a professional image rather than just screaming, "Look at me." The front panel is clean and minimalistic. It features a power button that serves as a multifunction button for power, volume, and navigating the menu. As you'd expect, all of this can be controlled from the remote as well. Like I said, this isn't the kind of gear that screams for attention with things like RGB lighting. It looks the part, and I found it had the performance to match, but as always, there are some considerations that you guys should know about, and we'll get to those later on. Here's where the A1 Pro stops being just another amplifier and starts representing a potential technological advancement. While GaN implementations do not automatically mean a better performing or measuring amp, it is different than the norm, so it's worth discussing. Instead of traditional silicone transistors, VMV has implemented GaN technology, the same stuff that's in everything from smartphone chargers to electric vehicle inverters. It's almost become a marketing term in the recent years with many of the portable battery brands, but at the very least, as this gets more widely adopted, it may bring some of the price for the implementation down on these. The practical benefits are GaN transistors can switch at frequencies up to 100 times faster than the much more traditional designs. This ultra-fast switching dramatically reduces the idle time, and that's the brief moments when both output transistors are off. This reduces what you could call dead time, and it helps to prevent distortion and timing errors that in some cases can smear the detail potential of an amplifier. Getting into the power specs, the A1 Pro delivers 160 watts per channel into 4 ohms, or 85 watts per channel into 8 ohms in stereo mode. That's the company spec, but I did recently see Amir over at ASR measured these to be around 130 at 4 ohms, and that was at about 1% THD. And as with most Class D amp designs, you get very clean power right up until that knee where it quickly jumps up in distortion. That's very normal and expected, but just something you should be aware of if you're starting to look at measurements. The power we get is legitimate on these, and I feel respectable for this price range. You can get this much wattage and more from cheaper designs, but I'm not certain of any other GaN technology amps that share the same complete package for this price point. I reviewed the Orchard Audio top model, their GaN amp, it was like a year or two back, and the one thing that really stuck out to me on that one was the amount of clean power, like squeaky clean power. This one shares a lot of the same characteristics, but in a smaller, more scaled down, budget-friendly package. The Orchard Audio amp, that was several $1,000s just for reference, and this one comes in just a little bit under $500. At the end of the day, the A1 Pro has enough power to drive most bookshelf speakers to uncomfortable levels and handle moderately efficient floor standing speakers with ease. Here's where things start to get a little bit more interesting on these, and I wish I had a pair of these to test this out, but I only received one in for review. You can switch to mono mode, which obviously requires 2 A1 Pro units. And then you're looking at 400 watts into 4 ohms or 250 watts into 8 ohms per channel, according to their specs. Suddenly you're in a territory that can handle nearly any full range speaker for much larger spaces and configurations. And the power supply on this one is internal, no boat anchor external units, and it's a dedicated audio grade switching design that draws just 0.5 watts in standby. This efficiency means you can leave this amp on without guilt. It won't turn your listening room into a sauna during extended sessions. I left the amp playing at moderate to, really loud levels for several hours on a set of semi-inefficient speakers just to see if anything would trip in the circuit protection, but everything kept on running without any interruption. I found the heat levels to be very acceptable during this test. Actually, if anything, I would say this is an area where the GaN tech is most noticeable. It was definitely cooler than a lot of the other amps that I have, that I've had in for testing that come in this size. One notable I'd like to point out here is the omission of a trigger or any auto-sensing capabilities for power. Even if these are very efficient in standby, I would generally prefer to always have a trigger. It's just one of the items I feel like, they should have done here to improve the design or the usability of this amplifier. Getting into the sound quality, the A1 Pro's sonic signature is refreshingly straightforward. It amplifies what you feed it without any poetic audiophile language required. This isn't an amplifier that tries to improve your music through added warmth, enhanced bass, or artificially widened sound stages. What goes in comes out, well, louder and with remarkable fidelity to the source. It's like I mentioned earlier with the Orchard Audio amp. It's sort of that same direct, uninterrupted sound. This amp will very much so provide the wattage, and it's up to you to get the desired sound signature based on your speaker selection, which is what I would suggest everyone to do in the first place. As I said, this is a very matter-of-fact sound, so my sound quality review will come from my personal experiences with it connected to my various speakers. I found the bass response to be tight and controlled. Electronic music, for example, maintains its punch and definition that a lot of people key in on. Acoustic instruments retain their natural timbre and decay characteristics. If anything, I would say subjectively, the fast switching potential of GaN Tech helps that mid-range vocals and instruments preserve their delicate timing and natural sound. That's just something I noted during my listening tests. The amplifier doesn't add artificial weight to the low end either. It doesn't give you any subjectively detectable sibilance. It just reproduces what you're actually giving it from the recording. Onto a little bit more info about the connectivity. The A1 Pro offers both RCA and XLR inputs, but just to be noted that XLR input is only for the monoblock configuration. If you're using this as a single amp and 2-channel config, you're going to be using the RCA here. The volume control utilizes a Texas Instruments PGA 2311. It's a digitally controlled analog chip, which can help in eliminating channel imbalances and drift issues that occasionally affect traditional potentiometers. Fine volume adjustments were smooth and precise, basically everything you would expect at this price point. The speaker binding posts are a good size and gold-plated. They accept banana plugs, spade connectors, and bare wires. There really isn't much else to comment on the connectivity. I would have preferred stereo inputs on the XLR instead of, only mono, but the RCA is going to suffice in almost all scenarios as well. The only other thing I would have liked to see here for connectivity would have been that trigger, but in this case, I'm probably going to connect this to a smart strip just to keep that power on-off function how I like to use it. Touching on some of the real-world performance and just general usability, over the last several weeks of use, the A1 Pro consistently impressed with its combination of power, efficiency, and so far reliability. I haven't had any hiccups with the screen or the amp performance to date. It drove a variety of speakers, from sensitive bookshelf monitors to demanding floor-standing models, with equal ability in this case. In my listening space, the power was never a limiting factor, as it's not really a huge room. But if your space consists of wide open spaces that are connected to other rooms, or a seating position that's, a long ways away from the speakers, a second A1 operating in mono mode with that huge amount of power may be worth considering. I think it would have been fun to have a second one in just so I could test some of the dynamics, see if anything could be detectable on day-to-day listening just with a pair of these. And just something else that I want to mention that came up in my notes a number of times was that clean power delivery. It just kept coming up on these, and you could push the volume levels without the amplifier adding its own distortion signature to the mix, which is always nice to have. The next thing you want to do is ask yourself, does this have enough to stand out? In the increasingly competitive desktop marketplace, the A1 Pro does differ itself through the use of different tech in this case, rather than just the price. While many manufacturers focus on cramming more features into cheaper packages, VMV has invested in GaN technology that does have the capability to produce measurable performance improvements. It's more expensive to produce amps like this, but it's good to see products evolve rather than just clones of the same product month after month. I won't sit on a hill and proclaim that GaN to be superior, over all of the others. There's a lot of great designs that come in on a budget today, but at the very least, I like to see companies trying to move the ball forward rather than just moving features around between their different products. Touching on the mono capabilities one more time, that could keep you happy for years to come if you're the type who needs to keep pushing things forward with your gear. I know people like that because, yeah, it's me. With two of these A1 Pro units, you could achieve 400 watts into 4 ohms. That's legitimate power for driving demanding speakers, or even creating, a high-end bi-amp system. This scalability means the A1 Pro can grow with your system. You could start out as a simple desktop unit, and maybe you want to grab a pair of these and expand into something else, a speaker that demands a lot more power. It just keeps your options open if you're looking for this type of configuration. Now, as always, I want to talk on keeping expectations realistic. This one does a lot well, but as with almost all products, there's a few limitations that I want to mention here. The A1 Pro is a power amplifier. It's not an integrated amplifier. There's no built-in DAC, no streaming capabilities or tone controls. I wouldn't expect them honestly, but some do, as this corner of the market has sort of turned into cramming all the features onto everything. So just so you know, you're gonna need a separate preamp or source just to use this one effectively. For some users, this simplicity is a feature and exactly what they want. And for others, it's gonna require additional components. I just wanna help you understand what you're getting into here. And this one kind of goes hand in hand with what I just discussed, but this is that compact form factor. While generally useful, it does limit the number of inputs to one set of RCA and the XLR connector, with the XLR being limited only to mono mode. Users with multiple sources will need a separate switching solution or preamp with multiple inputs. And finally, there's no trigger or auto-sensing power capabilities. It's either leave it on, which in most cases is fine with its low power draw, or operate it, with a smart power strip. But I would just prefer to have something there. A trigger would probably serve the needs for most people. So my verdict on the VMV A1 Pro is that it succeeds by bringing advancements to the desktop amplifier category. It's certainly not the first to use this, but it's starting to appear in more of the budget-friendly designs. The GaN implementation isn't just marketing. It can deliver, depending on who you ask, audible improvements in distortion, efficiency, and dynamic response compared to some of the traditional designs. That's assuming the design and implementation is done well, of course. For listeners seeking a clean, relatively powerful amp in a compact package, the A1 Pro offers a compelling value. It won't add artificial coloration or make poor recordings sound better. It doesn't have any gimmicks either, but it will accurately give you exactly what you put into it. Check it out if you're shopping this price range, or you have an interest in GaN, or the use of monoblock capabilities. There's a lot to like here, really. As always, if you could please click the like, give me a comment, or even a subscription. I always have a good number of reviews in the works, but at the moment, I have a few really special ones coming up. Take care, talk soon, later.